Just in time for the sunset, look. Happy with that. Welcome back to the channel, everybody. You join me on a really nice Cypriot evening. The weather is definitely getting a lot nicer now. We're hitting the 20s in the day. But yeah, let's get into the video. What is going on, everyone? I hope you are all well. Welcome back to the channel. And yes, as the title suggests, after the Civilian Soldier series, it only seemed fitting to name this video Soldier to Civilian, because yes, I am leaving the army. So for those of you that care, there's going to be two parts to this video really. The first part really is going to revolve around why I joined the army and a bit about my career. And I guess the second part is what's led me to this point now, and then deciding to leave and what the future holds. So I guess it's probably easiest if we go back to the very start. Some of you may know that I chose not to go to university, so I am a non-grad. That is becoming more common in officers. I left school and I decided that I didn't really enjoy education that much and I wanted to go into the workplace. So I started working in sales. It was recruitment at first. Then I went to Australia and worked in sales there. Then I went to Canada and worked in sales there. Then I came back to the UK, moved up north and worked in sales there. So you get the sort of pattern that I was sales focused. And up until the point that I joined the army, I was a sales manager working in gyms. I decided to join the army because one, I knew people serving and I had sort of a good insight into what they were doing. And two, I wanted my 20s to be active. I was working in gyms, as I said, but it was still very much a desk-bound job. And I thought, I'm not going to get these years back. I want to do something active. I want to do something different. And the army was definitely that option for me. On top of that, I had some managerial experience and I had the qualifications to apply as an officer. So I applied to be an officer and then I went through the AOSB, the Army Officer Selection Board, and got into Sandhurst by hook or by crook. Once I was there, you do the 44-week commissioning course, which was wicked, but like a steep learning curve because obviously I had no military experience myself. I knew people that was in, but like personally, I hadn't done anything with the military at that point. So everything was new. And like the first term, the junior term, was like a complete eye-opener. I was pretty shit, if I'm honest with you. But anyway, I got good enough to join the infantry and join the Royal Anglian Regiment. So once you finish Sandhurst, once you do the 44 weeks, you commission, have a big party. It's mega, unless you're in the COVID era. That sucks. I was fortunate enough to have a big party and it was sick. Then you go to Brecon and do the Platoon Commander's Battle Course, and that's pretty much 4 months of training. Once I'd completed all the training, I then turned up to battalion in December 2017 and became a platoon commander, which was definitely an eye-opener. I learned a lot, especially in my first 6 months. And I suppose some advice to any of you going through that process is like, definitely do be willing to learn in that 6 months. Do not turn up thinking you know. I managed to have like quite a busy platoon command experience. I went to Kenya on a force protection task. I deployed on a couple of exercises, and the pinnacle was deploying on Optoral 7, which was to Kabul in Afghanistan for 6 months. When I was in Afghanistan, I learned that I was coming towards the end of my platoon command experience. I had decided that I would like to go to the infantry training centre in Catterick to go and train recruits, and had an absolutely awesome time. I did 2 courses there. And that's where the Civilian Soldier series was born, and start documenting life in the infantry on YouTube. And that is something that like I never thought I would do. And I guess it's pretty much become a passion, is to try and create interesting content for you guys. I never really had like loads of hobbies before, apart from maybe the gym and going out. So actually it's quite nice to have a different hobby. And once that was done, I learned that I was going to come back to battalion slightly earlier than anticipated, which is a really common thing. And I got really lucky when coming back to battalion, because I got to deploy to Ghana on an STTT, which is a short-term training team, and then actually got told that I was going to go back out in a different role, but got to go back out to Ghana last year, which was Mega, like I was so lucky to get that experience. Came back and then pretty much got thrown straight into the cycling team for Olympus Viking, which was part of that mental relay challenge the battalion did last year. This brings me on to like the second part of the video, which is the reason I've decided to leave. And it's actually really simple. I joined the army to be a platoon commander, and I went through the training to be a platoon commander. I then qualified as a platoon commander. I had the opportunity to do it at battalion, which was sick, and then I had the opportunity to do it at the infantry training centre in Catterick, which was awesome. Once that stopped, for me, as much as I love aspects of the army, the job role that I was in had changed and no longer ticked the boxes. And I'm well aware that you can't stay in the same role forever, but for me personally, I just wanted to be a platoon commander, and I had 4 years pretty much of that. And then as soon as that came to an end, I was conscious of the fact that I would no longer get the job satisfaction that I personally wanted from being in the army. I decided that now is the right time for me to leave. So I joined the army at 23 and I'm leaving at, well, I'll be just short of 29 when I leave. So I'll have done just under 6 years, which I realise isn't actually that long, but it has took up the bulk of my 20s. So going back to the start of the video where I said that I wanted to be active in my 20s, I feel like I've achieved that and I've learned some unreal things in the army. The biggest thing I think I've learned or developed is mental resilience. That's 100% the main takeaway for me from being in the army for 5.5 years, is the fact that I don't think I wasn't mentally resilient before, but it's developed hugely. My attitude towards difficult tasks has changed a lot, but I'm a firm believer that if you set your mind to it, you can go on to achieve those things. And I guess that's why now I'm looking to go on to pastures new. And then, so the final part of this video is going to be what's next. And to be honest, I don't quite know. And I'm completely okay with that. Going into the unknown has always been all right for me. You know, when I left home and moved to Australia for a bit, I didn't know what I was going to do there. In fact, I literally rocked up and I didn't have an address to go to. I didn't have a job to go into. And I was told at border control that I had nowhere near enough money, and it worked out fine. Then went to Canada, did the same. And I suppose joining the army, I was joining the unknown. So for me, going back into civilian life is fine. I think at the start, I'm going to take a bit of time, go and visit a few countries that I've not been to, you know, and just give myself some time to train, you know, enjoy adjusting to civvy life, which is probably going to be a bit weird after almost 6 years. And I intend to keep making YouTube content. In fact, I intend to make more over the next few months. So what is this channel going to look like? Well, up until the point of leaving, I'm still going to be bringing you all the same stuff that I usually do about my experiences in the infantry up until that point. And then once I leave, I'm going to show you about what I'm doing in London. Yes, the channel's going to continue. And I've got some really cool projects, and I want to link up with other veterans out there that have experiences of leaving the army, launching their new venture, and I want to bring those projects to you on this channel in a very honest format. So you've listened to me go on now for a little bit, so I'll draw a line under that there. I would urge anyone that is considering joining the army, 1, do your research, but 2, absolutely give it a go. If it is an itch that you need to scratch, then I've personally had a great experience. I certainly don't regret joining, but do your research and figure out exactly what role you want to do and avenue you want to go down. But for me, there is almost time up, and then I'm pretty excited for the next chapter. That is it for this week's video. If this helps you at all, if you want to be part of the journey going forward and you haven't yet clicked subscribe, do click it now. Do give this video a like and click the bell so you can be notified every time I upload a video. See you next week with a brand new video.
We're past 30 miles down. How do you feel?
That's actually fucking good.
Yeah.
But it's taking its toll on my joints for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
My knee. The old IT band injury coming back with a vengeance.
Yeah.
So I need a few more paracetamol, ibuprofen.
Just need to get hard, mate.
Stay hard.
Yeah.
Stay hard. How are you feeling?
Pretty terrible, mate.
Yeah?
My joints don't feel great. But yeah, we've passed 30 miles. It's a good feeling.
That is a good feeling. Definitely on the home stretch in terms of runs.
Yeah. 60 miles after we finish this one.
That's decent. We've got 1.5 miles left. One cheeky uphill.
Yeah.
And then a little lap around camping. That's run number 8 nipped. See you in a bit.